sometimes it's okay to need people. Sometimes it's okay to want to be in the presence of another person. People don't seek community anymore. People don't want to make friends because it's so easy to just be on your own. Like, it shouldn't be so easy to be on your own all the time. I've spent so many years of my life just kind of doing what's comfortable and staying in my room and daydreaming. You're going through all this shit, but then you don't have the energy to even deal with it, and like healthy habits, healthy morning routines, all that kind of stuff. And it's just a lot. Right, let's set the vibe right. Oh my god. Hello. Today is Friday, so I'm filming this real time. I'm sorry, I'm making you wobble. I just wanted to talk with you guys because I feel like the world is weird at the minute. And I don't know if it's just the world, it's probably just my perception of the world and my issues projecting onto the world. Probably, that's always the case. But I just wanted to talk about it because it's not okay. We live in a world that is made to be so draining for the average person and so energetically depleting and miserable and depressing. But like, we don't have the same sense of community anymore. We don't have this support network that I feel like people once did. And it's just really lonely. Like, it's such a lonely feeling to feel like you're going through all this shit, but then you don't have the energy to even deal with it, and you don't have the energy to deal with other people's things either. I don't know if any of that made sense. I think the average person is probably working a job that they really hate in order to pay their bills and in order to get by. And yeah, we have the weekends, we have like the time after work to do certain things, but I've found recently, or not even recently, like I just find it to be the case that on the weekends I feel like I need to rest so much and recover from the working week. And as much as I do obviously work towards this, like my YouTube channel and everything like that, I just don't feel like I have the energy for it that I want to give it. And it really drains your soul to be spending so many of your waking hours doing something that you really don't like doing. And I feel like a lot of our lives are set up that way. Our lives are set up so that we go to a really boring and draining job, and then we come home and it's so easy to go on our phone and scroll on social media and get an instant kick of dopamine that we are so starved of during the day, and then we get addicted to it. And then obviously it's not good dopamine to be scrolling on your phone and like living through the lens of somebody else's life. So then we feel really shit about ourselves, and then we feel like we're not being our best self, because probably a lot of the content that you're watching is like how to be your best self and like healthy habits, healthy morning routines, all that kind of stuff. And it's just a lot. Like, it's really draining. I feel like as a society we don't hold a lot of space for negativity anymore. Like, we don't hold a lot of space for things that aren't picture perfect, amazing, and exactly how you want them to be, because it's so easy to fine-tune your life in a way that looks and feels exactly how you want it, which probably wouldn't have been as attainable back in the day. I feel like we kind of have this resistance of like dealing with any kind of negativity, which is a part of life. Negativity is a part of life. And I think that social media is giving us this false perception of everything needing to be amazing, everything needing to be romanticized and beautiful, harmonious, happy and great. But life isn't like that. And I think a lot of us are losing touch with what life actually is, but then we're feeling bad about ourselves for feeling negativity and feeling the feelings of a human being. We think it's bad because on social media everyone seems to be happy and showing their highlight reel, which we all know logically, we all know it's a highlight reel, but our subconscious monkey brain is seeing all these people living their best life, and we're just immediately comparing ourselves and thinking that we're not good enough because we're not doing that and we're not happy like they say they are on social media. I think it's really important to understand that your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are so different. Your conscious mind can know all the things that you need to do to lose weight and be healthy, but your subconscious mind is rooted in comfort zones and things that feel good in keeping you alive. So like, you know, to lose weight you need to go to the gym and eat healthy, which is logically you know that's right, but your subconscious mind seeks comfort and it seeks what's familiar and makes you feel safe. So it will resort to eating the junk food that you've always eaten that has always served some kind of purpose in your life. I think social media is kind of built in this way to kind of get us used to this feeling of like dopamine and happiness, but none of it's real, and we don't really notice that it's not real. We just kind of alter our brains in a way to think that life needs to look a certain way and the world needs to look a certain way. And I think it really heightens our expectation for what is actually to come and what life actually is. And I found this over the years actually, like whenever I go on holiday, I've said this before, but sometimes like when I've been to the most beautiful locations in the world, like going to like the Amalfi Coast, I got there and I remember thinking like, oh, like it's beautiful, but like I'd already seen it online, and like it was really beautiful and I did appreciate it in the moment. But I remember like logically thinking I appreciate it in the moment, but my body was kind of low-key disappointed. And I think that our phones and social media are fucking us up in a way that we're not even processing or registering, because we think in our head like logically we know, oh, social media is not real, like it's a highlight reel, blah blah blah. We logically know that, but we still continue to scroll thinking, well, it's okay because I logically know that, but it's still affecting our brain because we're still consuming it and it is still imprinting on our subconscious mind. But yeah, because of this, I feel like we don't hold space for other people. We don't hold space for people other than ourselves as much as we probably would if we didn't have social media and if the world wasn't set up the way it is now. I find this personally in myself as well. Like I feel like I physically am so drained by just my lifestyle and my job and things like that, that sometimes like I really find it an effort to make time to see other people and be with other people. And I am 100% guilty of kind of going ghost and isolating myself when things get a little bit too intense in friendships and things like that. Like say if my friends are going through something, like I can be there for them from a distance, but I can't be there for them in the way that I want to be there for them because it just takes too much away from me. And that breaks my heart because I want to give them all of my love and support, but because of the way that my life is set up and the way that my energy is being drained from so many different things that are kind of out of my control, I feel like I can't be the person that I want to be because I am energetically exhausted. And also I've got this like subconscious ingrained message that life is meant to be beautiful, life is meant to be romanticized, and it's truly not always the case. I was going to make a video on this like ages ago, but I kind of forgot about it really. But like I love the idea of romanticizing your life. I think it's amazing and it's a really beautiful thing, but I also think it can be really damaging because we are thinking to ourselves that we need everything to be so sensually pleasing. We need everything to feel right. We need to make sure that before we go on a 2-minute drive to Tesco down the road, we need to make sure that we've got the right song playing, or before we go in the shower we have to like curate a little playlist of all the songs that will make the perfect mood. And I think it's good, but then I also think it takes the spontaneity out of life and it kind of makes life a little bit boring and mundane because we are just controlling so much and we're not allowing room for any unexpected things to come into play. And I know it sounds really stupid, but like I always think of this in terms of music. So I obsess and hyperfixate over songs that I like, and I find that this kind of makes me a little bit like numb because I'll listen to a song so much to the point where it doesn't, like a song that once made me feel so good and so happy suddenly doesn't evoke any kind of feelings in me at all. And if anything, it probably makes me feel a little bit sad because it used to make me happy but now it doesn't make me happy. And I've found recently that when I'm feeling this way, when I'm feeling that stuck and a little bit numb, obviously I kind of like reset by being in silence for a bit. Like I do like to drive in silence, but I found that when I allow room for spontaneity and change in my life, so say if I put on the Spotify DJ where it just like gives you random songs, probably ones that you've never heard of, I find like so much more joy in that because yes, some songs might not be great, but like when you listen to a song that's not great and then you listen to a really good song after it, it makes the good song even better. And I think a lot of us just try to take out all of the negative things and all of the things that don't make us feel great. We like remove it from our life, so then the good things start to not feel good, and then we're like, why do they not feel good? Does that make sense? Like say if you've got a playlist on and you're just skipping all the songs to get to a song that's going to give you a certain type of feeling because we want to control everything we feel because we want to romanticize our life. I don't know, it kind of gives us this like disappointment feeling or the song might be good at first, but then you kind of like, no, I want to skip it. And it's just like, I just feel like our attention spans are fucked. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience. I can't speak for you guys, but I feel like hopefully someone or some of you are resonating with this. But yeah, I don't think that romanticizing our lives is always a good thing. I think sometimes we need to leave room for like just a little bit of something different in our life. That's where I kind of miss TV. Like I miss having TV on and like waiting for a certain program to come on. Like you knew at 6 p.m. every night on Channel 4 you were gonna watch Hollyoaks, or no, was it The Simpsons? And you waited for that program and you got excited. Like I used to get so excited to watch the soaps, to watch fucking Coronation Street and EastEnders. I missed that, and I think we live in a day and age now where we can just control everything. It just kind of makes us entitled. It makes us feel like we are entitled to control every single aspect of our life and our environment and set it up so we can feel a certain kind of way. And like when things aren't going your way, you get irritated and you just think like, oh, like I just want to be on my own, because if I'm on my own, I can listen to whatever I want to listen to and I can skip the songs that I want to skip, blah, blah, blah. And like that also leads me into the point of like, I feel like everyone isolates themselves. Like everyone is so obsessed with solitude now and solo dates and self-care and self-love, which is all amazing. And I remember when I kind of encountered all of this kind of content on the internet like a few years ago, I remember thinking like, this is amazing, it's great. And I did embark upon like my own journey of that, and it was really nice. But I think when I was consuming it a few years ago, like there wasn't a lot of content on it. It was very niche and not a lot of people were going on solo dates and doing things like that, or putting it on YouTube anyway. And it was just, it seemed authentic and it seemed nice. But now I feel like everyone does that, which each to their own, like everyone get their bag, that's great. And like everyone is probably going through that journey and enjoying it in the way that I probably did back then. I don't know, but I feel like sometimes it's a little bit of like a status thing, like, oh well, I love my own company and like I can be by myself, blah blah blah. And I do still think that's important, but I think the messaging is not giving what it used to be given. I feel like now it's just giving like, you need to be on your own all the time and you need to isolate yourself and come back glowing 6 months later and things like that. I've actually got a video on that. I'm such a hypocrite because in one breath, like I do really love all that kind of thing, and I do think solo dates are important, and I think it's important to enjoy your own company. But I think it's gotten to a point now where it's a little bit corny. Like it's been so overdone to the point where it just seems really forced, and people are just doing it because it's like a rite of passage, like they need to do. What I'm trying to say is that I think that people kind of hide behind this like self-sufficiency badge of honor that they create for themselves. Like it's like people feel the need to prove that they can be okay with themselves, because people are made to feel ashamed of wanting to be in other people's company and like wanting to be in community. People get shamed for not wanting to be by themselves. Like I feel like Twitter and Threads is like a really weird and passive aggressive place to be, but whenever I go on those like apps, I feel like everyone's always like, learn how to be alone. Like, you need to learn how to be alone. And like, that's just something that you learn in life. Like, that is a gradual thing that you learn, because there are going to be times where you have to be by yourself. And that's fine. I feel like, I don't know. There is a lot of like passive aggression on the subject, I feel like, from what I've seen or how I've perceived it. I feel like people are very much like, yeah, you need to be on your own. I've probably been like this as well. Like I probably have judged people in the past for not being able to spend time with themselves, which like, I do think you should be able to spend time with yourself, but it's normal to want community. It's normal to want to be around other people, and it's normal to not feel like you have to solve each and every one of your problems by yourself on your own and struggle through it all, when there are people out there who can help you. You can speak to someone and feel so much better. You don't always need to journal. Like sometimes you just need to speak to somebody. And yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to get to. I feel like I never reach a point quick. I'm editing this and I'm like, what are you getting at, girl? But yeah, And I think solo dating and things like that, it's a journey, it's like a life thing, just learning gradually how to enjoy company with yourself and like being present with yourself. I think it's something that you can integrate into your daily life in small little ways. Like you don't necessarily need to be doing all these things. Like I know a lot of people go on solo trips and like holidays and things like that by themselves, which is so amazing if you really feel called to do that and you want to do that. Like I did actually do a solo trip by myself and I remember enjoying it and it was good, but I remember thinking like I just miss people. Like I was seeing people around me like on dates and with their best friends and they were just laughing and joking and shopping together, and I remember thinking like I miss my friends, like I miss being with somebody, I miss communicating with someone. And it served a purpose, that trip, it definitely served a purpose. And I do think that when you're on your own you notice things that you wouldn't necessarily notice if you was with other people. But I do get scared that it's giving this messaging that you need to make a point to go on a solo trip and go on holiday by yourself and do all of these things by yourself, and people making other people feel guilty if they don't want to do that. I worry that that messaging is kind of making people isolate themselves a little bit. I get that feeling within myself. Like that's the kind of thing that I feel when I consume content on being alone. It used to be something that would encourage people to go out and seek community, but I think now, because we live in a day and age where we don't necessarily need to go out and get community because we can go online, I think people are happy to just isolate themselves and do that under the disguise of self-love and loving solitude and being in your own company. I think a lot of people hide behind that, and I think that is definitely something that I did on my like self-love journey. I think we forget how important community actually is and how important it is to be around people and how much other people can actually help us if we allow them to. We just live in this society and this culture of needing to do everything for ourselves and not accepting help from anybody. But when I did that, like I just found everything really difficult and I kind of hid behind it. These are the things I've been thinking recently. I don't want to speak too long because I've been like speaking for ages and I'm working and I need to get this video uploaded, and like I don't really know what I was meant to really talk about in this video. I just really wanted to talk about that. Like I just feel like it's really weird, it's difficult being a human these days. Like I feel like we are being so disconnected from our human nature, and that's becoming so normalized. Like we're becoming so distant from people, and we're kind of enabling this energy of like do everything by yourself and like you don't need anyone to do certain things. Like sometimes it's okay to need people, sometimes it's okay to want to be in the presence of another person, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't know, this is just something that I'm working on myself, because I am definitely the type of person who isolates myself a lot, and I can spend a lot of time by myself and not get bored. It's so funny because I feel like I say all these things and like I always see two sides to everything. So like I'm saying these things, but then I'm also like in the other side of my brain I'm like, oh no, yeah, but I disagree in this regard. Like I'm always having like an internal debate, but I just feel like people don't seek community anymore. People don't want to make friends because it's so easy to just be on your own. Like it shouldn't be so easy to be on your own all the time. When you see like people embracing solitude and isolating themselves, sometimes that can kind of enable you to stick in your comfort zone and not get out there and meet new people and experience life and do different things. I've spent so many years of my life just kind of doing what's comfortable and staying in my room and daydreaming, going on Pinterest and creating vision boards, but not actually living the life that I'm creating a vision board for. And I've just got to the point now where it's like I want to live the life that is on my vision board. Like I want to live it. I don't want to spend my life on a screen and being chronically online. But yeah, I feel like I've spoken about completely random different things in this topic. I have no idea what I'm gonna call this video. Anyway, I hope you guys are all having an amazing Friday. It feels quite nice. I feel quite connected with you guys because I'm filming on the same day that I'm posting. But I hope you're all doing good. I hope you'll have an amazing weekend. Let me know what your weekend plans are in the comments down below. I would love to know. I've been asking everyone at work. Like I am so curious. Like I just crave community. I really do. Like I'm just always asking people like, what are you doing this weekend? What are you having for tea? Like I just like to know. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you soon. I might do more videos like this. Maybe. Let me know. Bye.